I feel like once you have one mistake, you learn everybody's learned the hard way once. And then you
Yes.
never let that happen again.
Then you never let it happen again. You have 3 things recording at all times. Like everything
Mhm.
is set in stone. So,
Yep.
well, Lauren, we'll jump into the podcast. Thank you so much for being here. And you've been on the podcast before in a little bit different
Yeah.
fashion. That was a little bit of
We
a
had
brawl.
fun last time. We're going to
So
have
much
fun
fun.
again.
Gonna have fun again. I mean, how can you not have fun on a podcast called Barbells, Beats, and Buffoonery? I mean, it's literally in the title, so
It's the buffoonery for me.
it is the buffoonery for me. It's the buffoonery for a lot of people. A lot of people love to jump in and do the whole buffoonery thing. And I think that I'll go ahead and spill the beans on this one. I'm trying to get the next battle that we do is,
Ooh, what are you
oh my gosh,
thinking?
horrible pickup lines.
Oh, I have so many. Oh my God.
I figure
Wow.
I'd just go out and get all the ladies of CrossFit and they just open up their DMs and just be like, hey, here's a list of all the horrible things that have been said.
Never say this.
Never say this. Like, I don't understand what people are thinking, first of all. Just, do you really think that's going to work?
They think they're being cheeky or something.
No,
they think it's cute, but it's not cute.
It's creepy.
Don't like that. Yeah.
It's creepy. It's not cheeky. Like I can joke like that with my friends. Like I'll say something.
There's a time and a place.
There's a time and a place. To a complete stranger who's a celebrity in the CrossFit world, not a place to say it. Not a place to do it. Because you think you're original, you're not.
Yeah, it's not great.
But hey, so how have you been? How are things going? You're getting ready for Wodapalooza. Were you there last year? Have you been to Wodapalooza
No,
before?
I've never been before. Because my brother decided to get married last year. What's up with that?
That's like people get married on the Super Bowl.
Right. Like, what are you doing? Come on.
Who does that?
And he is a CrossFitter, so he should know better.
Oh,
it's not like he doesn't even understand CrossFit. Like, come on, Mike.
So last year, not last year, but the year prior, so you were at the games. Were you there 2 years ago? 2020
at the games?
Yeah, 21.
I've been at the games every year since 2017.
Okay.
But I was first there just as a spectator because I lived in Wisconsin, and then eventually I started working.
Gotcha. Hey, I'm there as a volunteer every single year, so I'm around everywhere doing all sorts of things. But I was there in 21, and it was just a crazy time. It was fun. I was going to ask you something about it, and we got to talking about that, and I have absolutely no idea what I was talking about.
Where are we going with this? I hate when that happens.
I'm sitting there talking. I'm like, I'm trying to fill time because I'll remember what I was saying, but I don't. Why were you?
Eventually, we'll circle back.
Yes. No. I figured it out. We were talking about weddings. I was at the 2021 games when the Buttery Bros hosted the wedding at the campground.
You were there?
I was there.
I was there.
Oh
my God.
Yes, we were there.
Both there. Did you have a slice of the cake?
I had a slice of the cake. It was freaking amazing.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
It was so good.
So I was hanging out at the Talking Elite Fitness with those guys the whole time. So I was, yeah.
Wait, I feel like we must have met each other.
We must have met each other. We must have. Which is
weird.
Yeah, that is CrossFit. that is the craziness. So yeah, when the storm came in, I was there helping them tear everything down and like tear all their podcast equipment down.
Did you sleep in the Coliseum?
No, I had a hotel.
Okay. Oh yeah. Lucky.
No, duck. I didn't live in the campground, but I was there. Like
if I wasn't a visitor.
Yeah, if I wasn't, at my hotel or at the site, I was at the campground. I was at the campground every single night, hanging out with them and stuff. So no, that was the year my roommate ended up like missing his flight or getting COVID. No. I don't remember, either got COVID or he missed his flight. I think he missed his flight. And at the last minute was like, oh dude, sorry. I'm like, you're my room. Like you have the booking. I don't have a place to stay. So I had to scramble and find a, a really sketchy motel.
Yeah, that is
to stay
not
in,
an easy feat.
which is why I wanted to stay at the campground as much as humanly possible. So, but it was a good time.
Understandable.
It was fun. So let's jump into kind of your background, because you've come on the scene and you've kind of taken over the face of Morning Chalkup. You are
Who's this girl?
Who is this girl? What does she do? Where did she come from? So tell people a little bit about your background and, how you got into journalism, how you got into CrossFit, and kind of see where we're at there.
Yeah. Oh, don't mind if you can see
Don't
my
mind.
dogs or hear my dogs.
Don't mind the dogs.
Just going off in the background.
Literally chasing his own tail. Just
yeah. Well,
spinning.
The worst is when she will chase her foot and then get her back foot in her mouth and be jumping in circles.
My dog is a 85-pound pit bull terrier.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he thinks he's a 20-pound Chihuahua. And
little lap dog.
He's a lap dog. He's an 85-pound lap dog. He's ridiculous, actually. So back to
the dogs.
Yeah. I'm a dog fan. So dogs are king. Yeah.
They make life better. They really do. Especially when like you drop into an affiliate and there's like a gym dog, then there's no warm up that I will do. I would just like warm up, dog, I'll be over here.
Also, fun fact, if you want to kidnap Noah Olsen, just bring a dog.
Exactly. Him and Max.
Yes.
Max, what a beautiful golden retriever.
I'm actually about to release so again, buffoonery. I'm about to do a little series on how to catch people. So there was a movie a long time ago called To Catch a Killer. So,
I think I've heard of that.
It's...
Are you now like figuring out how to catch an athlete?
Well, this was going to be To Catch a Hiller. I can go ahead and talk about it now because it'll already be on by the time I edit this and put it on, it's going to be already on the Instagram. But have you seen Family Guy with James Wood? Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy.
No.
Oh my gosh.
But now I know what I'm going to do after this.
It's a great episode. Peter Griffin and James Wood have this like rivalry, and the only way to catch him is to leave like a trail of candy. So he walks up and he's like, ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy.
I've definitely seen memes on that. Yeah.
And then he walks up to this box with a piece of candy with a stick, and he's like, ooh, piece of candy, grabs the candy, and they pull the stick and the box drops on them and they jump on the box, and they're like, we need to remember this because we've caught him twice this way now. I did that all across my gym with C4 cans. So the C4 drinks, because he loves C4. So, and then I tracked over top of it the track from Family Guy. So it's like, ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy.
Oh, that's funny.
And then you hear the box drop, and I've got a box set up with a dumbbell underneath it, and I just pull the dumbbell and it drops.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that.
So that'll be out later today. I'm going to put that up. But
I can't wait.
Anyways, buffoonery. Yeah.
Right.
I asked you a question.
You did. How did I wind up where I am? What is going on? What was I doing? So I originally, like the OG dream job, it's so different than what I'm doing now. I wanted to be a wedding planner.
Oh.
That was like the goal, which is so funny because I mean, whatever, I'll just say it. My friends call me like the Grinch of weddings because when you've been to so many and when you've been in so many, I'm going to sound like the Grinch. They just are all the same. They're all the same to me. It's a lot of time, a lot of money. I just don't really love weddings. I love that these two people are in love, but the whole like event that goes around it, I'm just like, I've been in so many, I've done it. I just don't really enjoy it. So the irony that I wanted to be like a wedding planner is very funny.
Here's the irony. I'm also a wedding DJ. So
you've been to even more than I have.
I have been to a lot of weddings and worked with a lot of wedding planners, and it is the bane of my existence.
Okay, wow.
It's
Look,
not,
our
not the
friendship
wed-
is growing.
not the wedding planners themselves. Like the wedding planners, a lot of times are fantastic, and I've ran into a couple of them that are just absolute like control freaks and just horrible. Yep, there you
Yeah.
go. Autofocus.
Yeah.
um, I've ran into a couple that I'm just like, I will never work with you again if you're on a wedding. But most of them are
Mhm.
fantastic. But dear God, all the work that you have to do to throw all this money at a day that nobody gonna really remember, like the details that you're
Yeah.
putting into it, like all the little things that you're doing, and this little nuance and this little nuance and that bow around that flower. Nobody cares when it's all said and done.
Yep.
So
I'm
so I s-
I'm right
so
there.
the two things that you have to, so what in your opinion, we'll get back to your story because this is going
Yeah,
to
we'll
be,
get there.
we're just going to call this the squirrel episode.
What?
Because,
Squirrel.
ooh, shiny
Yeah.
squirrel. um so what in your opinion, and this is also why I want to have Sammy on the podcast because she's also a wedding DJ. Did you know that
What?
Sammy was formerly a wedding DJ?
I I feel like I 100% should know that, and I
Yes, you
had
should.
no idea.
She's mentioned it quite a few times. But yeah, she was formerly a wedding DJ. And I'm like, we need to talk. We need to have conversations about
Yeah, you
this
two need
and
to
have like,
compare notes.
yeah, we'll do. Oh, listen, we'll do a wedding planning episode. The Battle of the Weddings.
Oh, yes. Well, there used
Okay.
to be a show on, I don't know what it was on, like Bravo or like E,
Yeah.
something like that. And it would be like this group of three women that would go and rate other people's weddings
Oh, it was
based on
awful.
like how the bride looked, the food, and the music. And I'm just like, this is television. Like, this
It's
is
such a horrible
entertainment for
show. It's such a horrible show. And I want to say
so
it's probably on
bad.
Discovery Channel. Not Discovery
Mm,
Channel. What channel is it? Is it TLC?
I know. I get
That does,
maybe.
it's TLC that does the horrible programming. Like what I'm gonna tell on my wife for a second.
Okay.
I walked in yesterday into the room and she's like, I'm sorry. I'm like,
Oh,
for
no.
what? And I
Oh,
looked at the
no.
TV and she's watching like 1,000 Pound Best Friends. I literally I put my AirPods in, grabbed a book, and just put on
Yeah.
music. Just and I'm like, I can't do it. I can't, not even a little bit. Anyways, the wedding planning with doing, DJing weddings and parties and events, it's like the two things that I think, or two or three things that you like absolutely like spare no expense. These are the things that you have to have that are good. And I might be biased because I'm the DJ, but the DJ is one of them. The
Oh,
cake,
100%.
oh, absolutely. Because if you have a horrible DJ, they will never stop talking about how bad of a party it was. But nobody will remember him or her, but like it has to be a good DJ. The food/cake, the cake has to be on point because if the cake is bad, horrible. And the photographer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Photo,
Yeah.
food, and music. That's those three things. That's all you need to spend money on. Everything else, nobody cares. Nope, nobody cares. Nobody
That
cares about
people
bubbles.
don't care about the
No.
shade of green that the napkin is.
No, and it doesn't matter. Your bridesmaids are gonna hate it anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so those are my three tips for if you're getting married and you want to spend money on a wedding. Those are the three things you need to invest in. Either that
I
or a
want to
travel
spend money
agent.
on the honeymoon.
Just
Yeah.
a
Like,
well, I mean that's a different, that's the separate. Yeah, spend the money on the honeymoon. But if you want to like a memorable a memorable wedding, you need those three things. You need the photographer,
yeah.
the DJ, and the food to be on point. Nobody cares about anything else.
I love the hot take.
Yes, that's the hot take. So, okay, so you want to be a wedding planner, which
Okay, so yeah, I wanted to be a
Yeah.
wedding planner because like growing up, I just loved planning events. Like I was always on like prom committee, student government, like organizing events and then like watching them come to life. And for whatever reason, I was like, oh, like weddings, which now I'm like, why? Like, why did that thought ever come into my mind? I don't know. So then while I was still in college, I think it was the summer going into my sophomore year, I had an internship at a casino that had a hotel. and I worked in the hotel portion doing like check-ins, hospitality, to kind of get my feet wet in that like customer service, working with people vein of life. And it wasn't great. It wasn't great. There people were rude,
People
and
in the public.
it just was like the worst summer job for me, in my opinion. And then I went back. I went to a liberal arts school, so I hadn't had declared major quite yet. And somebody was like, "Oh, why don't you take journalism 101? You like to talk." And I was like, "Okay." Like, I think it's a little bit more than just talking, but sure.
Yeah.
Like, I'll figure it out and see if this is something that I enjoy. And after the first class, I was like, "Oh, this is what I'm going to do." I think before the semester was even over, I declared a major, sports broadcasting. Had a couple really cool internships working with the Dan Patrick Show and the Golf Channel.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, I want to do sports.
Yeah.
That was what I wanted to do. And that was the dream. And then you graduate, you apply for a bunch of jobs. And I applied for, I'm not even kidding you, like 200 openings, like all around the country, because if you're going to be in journalism, you kind of have to just pack your bags and leave for whoever wants to hire you.
Sure. Yeah.
And of those like 200 applications, only about 4 of them were in sports.
Wow.
There just were not openings, especially because like after graduating college, you're not going to go work in New York City or Los Angeles or the big desirable markets. You're
Yeah.
working in
You're
the
not gonna get a spot
Birmingham,
on-
Alabama,
You're
somewhere
not gonna
in
get a
South
spot on
Dakota.
ESPN right away.
No,
No.
definitely not. So I moved to Quincy, Illinois, very, very small town right on the Mississippi River. And I took a job in news, and I really enjoyed it. I was really passionate about it, especially because it was like such a diverse role that I had. Like, I still was able to cover a little bit of sports. I would shoot Friday night football, Saturday high school basketball, just helping out the sports department, trying to like have a good relationship with them just in case an opening happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, I covered anything from an agriculture story to a little mom and pop shop opening down the street to politics, which I hated. I never want to have to do that again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did that for 8 years, kind of moving around to different local TV stations. And somewhere within those 8 years, I found CrossFit. And it's so funny because I had watched, I started like around the CrossFit games, and the affiliate that I was at was like, "Oh my God, you have to watch like the live broadcast. Like, you're in television, like you got to see what they do." And I just remember watching Tommy Marquez and Sean Woodland, and I'm like, wow, how do I get that job?
Yeah.
Like, how do you like, and I know how the industry is. You don't really ever apply for a job. You just
No.
do really good work and you hope that somebody sees, or that you have a connection or something. So it's always kind of like interesting when you're trying to figure out like what your next move is or what like the long-term goal is. So yeah, so eventually I just reached out to Morning Chalkup and was like, "Hey, here are my credentials. Do you have any openings?" And they were like, "Yeah, like you can write for us part-time. That's really what we offer right now." So I was a contract writer for some time. I managed the newsletter for a little bit, but I hated that job. I was like, "Oh, this is like I have the skills, but they're the skills that I don't want to have to use."
Like being a wedding DJ.
It all comes
Like,
full circle.
listen, I've been given the most amazing compliments about doing weddings, but God, I hate them. Like, yeah. But yes,
Yeah.
it's a
You
skill that I
just
keep in my back pocket.
right. Like it's
Yeah.
good to have like a wide variety of tools in your toolbox, but some of them you're like, "Oh, I know that I can do this, but I really don't love doing this." And that's kind of how it was when I was managing the newsletter. It was just, something that I just didn't see myself doing long term. So then I went back to just contract writing for Morning Chalkup. And then at some point, kind of, I think it was either right before Wodapalooza or right after Wodapalooza last year. I had been doing video interviews with athletes for a couple of months on our YouTube page, on Morning Chalkup's YouTube page. And then I eventually was like, I wonder if I can turn this into a full-time job. And it still was not. It was still, a part-time job. I was working full-time at my affiliate. And then after the CrossFit Games, that's when the YouTube channel became a full-time role. We just wanted to expand.
What year did you start
this past year?
Oh, this past year. Okay.
So I started like contract writing. I think it was March of 2021.
Okay. So that's when we were at the games together
a couple times. Yes, exactly. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I was the one that was sitting in a chair, like a little fold-up chair with my laptop every night, trying to get the newsletter together while everybody else was having fun.
Yeah, I know. We have probably talked, which is hilarious.
I know,
probably talked beforehand at the campsite, just everybody hanging out.
Yeah.
Because I was when Justin won and came over to the campground. Yeah. I was standing right there and hanging out.
Oh my gosh.
I'm on the Bird Rose video and everything.
We definitely have had conversations then.
Yes.
Which is so funny because like you meet so many people at the CrossFit Games and so many people at the space that like, and when you only see them once a year, it's like, hey, I think that we met last year, but if not, like you do the reintroductions. And
well, what's funny is that same year. So so I talked to Tommy and Sean all the time.
Yeah.
From Talking Elite Fitness. And, and I had Sean was like my second guest on the podcast. Like
really?
Like actual guest. So I think it was Margot Alvarez was the first guest and Sean was, I think, the next guest. And it was either Sean or Tommy, but either way, he was one of my very first guests on the podcast. And I walked up to him at the games and I was like, hey, what's up, Sean? And he just looked at me kind of with this like deer in the headlights look like,
yeah.
Oh, hey, what's up, man? And I'm like, it's Wex. He's like, oh, Wex, what's up? Because we never like officially met in person. It was just all online and virtual and stuff like that.
Right.
But now, we see each other all the time and we talk back and forth and he knows, we know each other now.
Which it is so funny because I mean, you're the same. We do most of our work virtually and you only see like this much of somebody.
Yeah.
That I'm always surprised when I see like Tommy or Sean or Chase in person. I'm like, you guys are so tall.
You are giant humans.
I forget how tall you guys are. And I just look like a little peanut next to them.
Well, that's okay. I'm 5'10", so they're huge compared to me. So I'm, right in that.
I'm like, hi guys.
Yeah. I took a picture with Tommy like when I was there in 2021. I'm just like, gosh, he's huge.
Right. You forget how tall they are because we see them on screens and they see us on screens.
Absolutely. But so you talked about how you got into the Morning Chalkup and doing that and kind of taking that over. How did you find CrossFit and like where did you start that journey and and that whole rabbit hole?
Yeah, that was a wild journey. I always loved sports. Whether it was basketball or I was a competitive dancer, I danced through college. My mom owns a dance studio, so even instructing dance.
You said competitive dancer, and I immediately went to like step up.
Yes, but no. No. So if you watch, it's like same but different because competitive dance isn't cheerleading, but there's like a Netflix series called Cheer.
Yeah.
Have you heard of it? Okay. Yes. So the university or college, whichever it is that they focus on there goes to the same nationals that we would in college for dance.
Okay.
So they would have like cheer nationals and then dance team nationals.
Nice.
But yeah, so that's what I did. If anybody is listening or watching and knows what that is, it's kind of similar. So was a big dancer, really loved it. But then, graduate college and probably what most former athletes do, you go to somewhere like Planet Fitness and you're on the elliptical and trying to lift weights and like, okay, this is not really scratching the itch. What do I do? I ended up doing less fitness, eating a lot of pizza, drinking a lot of beer, just like all of those terrible like health decisions that are good every once in a while, but it became just too frequent. I had so much like extra time now that I wasn't like going to dance practice or having certain like gym hours for dance team, that it was filled with boozing and pizza.
Yes. I mean, which is great.
Oh,
I love it.
right.
But yeah, not
Which is
good.
great. No regrets, but probably not great for like long-term health and just like feeling good about yourself. So I went on a family vacation, and I mean, I don't know about you, but when was the last time you saw your dad in a bathing suit? Like, it's probably not very frequent.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I suppose unless you live somewhere nice and like you go to the beach with your like parents all the time. But so we go on this family vacation, and me and my sister are on the beach. We're boozing, and we're having ourselves a little good time, getting a nice suntan. Our dad walks on the beach without a shirt on, and this 50-year-old man has like a six-pack and these like massive muscles. And me and my sister like at the same time look at each other and we're like, what? Why does dad look better than us? Like, this can't be a thing. This can't be a thing.
So that's actually, so not to put a downer on it, but my father passed away like many, many years ago, when I was a kid. But what I remember what I remember about him is that, because we grew up on horse farms. So he trained thoroughbred racehorses.
Oh, how cool.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Like, we took a horse to the Kentucky Derby. Like, he trained some pretty he trained some pretty epic people. So he was always on horses and things like that. And unfortunately, cancer sucks, and I freaking hate it. Because he died when he died right after his 40th birthday. Like, crazy.
Oh my God.
So every year I'm alive now, it's like, to me, it's borrowed time because I'm over 40. So it's like, that's always in my mind. But the thing I remember about him, because he trained horses, basically he fought with horses every single day for, my whole lifetime, growing up. And my dad was like, he was not a big guy, but he was lean and like jacked, like his arms, like, you did not mess with my dad when it came to that. But he was also like 5'8", 5'9", but he, because he had that rider build, and it's, so he was smaller, but I always remember he was just jacked. Me, not so much. That gene completely missed me. Completely. What didn't miss me is all the pizza and beer and donuts and all those sorts of things, which are amazing.
Oh, donuts, yum.
Yeah. And then of course you have my little brother, who is he's a Eagle Scout, Marine Recon, freaking like, all right. Yeah. I'm like, whatever, jerk. you got all the cool things, you got like, so he's like 10 years younger than me.
You DJ weddings. That's
I DJ weddings.
Cool.
Actually, I'm going to be honest. This whole, similar to what you said with it's kind of, how do you get into this business? It's all about just knowing people, which sounds horrible because you've got like those, kind of click type things. And it's not like that. It's just, if you know people and you do what you do and you do what you love, it shows through. And kind of the position I've been put in with Wodapalooza this year. Last year, I was just a small little podcast on the stage, just doing whatever. And now doing it big. Now I'm running the podcast stage, running the seminar stage. It's blown up because I met Dylan at a local comp here in Central Florida where he was emceeing. And, we just kind of talked back and forth there. So he knows who I am, I know who he is, obviously. And now he's running the whole thing. So I just reached out to him and I was like, hey man, I was at the podcast stage last year and I've got a couple of ideas that I wanted to give to you guys to possibly make it better, because there were some really, big shortfalls last year. And he's like, awesome. I love it. You're in charge of it. So I was like, oh,
amazing.
Oh, yay. Okay, great. So now, it is what it is. And you've seen kind of the back end of it, of us, kind of doing all the planning and everything. And
if a lot goes into it.
Yes. And if people are listening to this, please go to the podcast stage because it is going to be epic. Like the guest list is ridiculous right now.
Oh my gosh. And there's so many cool people, and
yes,
just a good opportunity for like fans and like people who watch all of these different podcasts and YouTube shows like from home. Like now
Yeah.
you'll be able to like go see what people do live. And I think it just like is a really cool thing.
Well, and we've also introduced the feature. So we're going to have a wireless microphone. So we'll be able to run out into the crowd. So you can actually ask your questions. So you don't have to do it on your YouTube chat screen and be like, what is your favorite pie? You know?
We can hear your voice.
We can hear your voice now. You can actually be on the podcast. You know, we're just not mentioning you or putting up your thing on the screen. Like you can actually talk on the podcast and ask these questions of these athletes that you never thought you would ever get to meet or talk to. So it's been crazy, this whole kind of whirlwind. I never expected to be in this position, and I didn't go into it looking, trying to look for it. I wasn't, trying to be the podcast manager. I was just like, hey, here's some ideas to make this better for everybody. And I want to be part of everybody. And I want to be part of everybody that makes this, fun and engaging and a vital place where Wodapalooza can really kind of make an impact. Because, I saw it at the CrossFit Games where you have the seminar stage where, they would do, work, little workouts or demos or, talk about different subjects, and people would come and they would check it out and they would be engaged and they loved it. And I'm like, why aren't we doing that with podcasts? Why aren't we doing that with these shows that, really kind of given that college game day type atmosphere of, hey, they're up on stage, you can get up and cheer, they can say something you like, people can, interact and have fun, have fun with it. So that's the biggest thing about the podcast stage this year that's going to be just amazing, is being able to kind of engage with the crowd and talk to people that like they wouldn't just generally get to see, because everybody's more laid back. It's Miami.
Right.
This is like the all-star weekend. It's just fun. The teams are getting together and they're going to throw down. It's going to be crazy. The women's side is ridiculous on the teams, but it's like everybody's
it's going to be so cool.
Oh my gosh. It's insane. Like I just see teams popping up. I'm like, that's not even fair.
Right.
It's just not fair. Okay. But then seeing the guest list of people that are doing appearances and just hanging out and just, it's just a big party. And this is probably one of my favorite times to be in CrossFit is Wodapalooza. The games is amazing because it's, the epicenter. It is the Super Bowl. It is, but there's so much on the line and so much stuff going on. But Wodapalooza is just like, hey, let's everybody party.
And like with the party, everybody is in good spirits. They're there to have fun. This is like the last thing that we're doing, that the athletes are doing before the season starts.
Yeah. And you've got the mayor of Miami there, hanging out, Noah Olson. He is
the mayor of Miami. I love that.
He is. He is the mayor of Miami. Like when he is there on ground at Wodapalooza, he is, shaking hands, kissing babies, petting dogs. Like he is the guy
doing what he needs to do. He's so genuine.
Yeah.
He's so genuine, because I think some people are like, oh, I don't know if that's like a front. I don't know if he's just that way, like in front of the camera, but like, it doesn't matter whether like you know him or you're a complete stranger fan. Noah Olson is probably the nicest human I've ever met. Like,
absolutely. Yeah.
He just is, you just want to hug him.
and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when or where. Like he could have just killed himself he could have just absolutely just sold out on a workout. He's like, hey, what's up? How's it going? He's just the nicest. Got to run into him a couple times at the games, the past few years, and every single time he's like, oh yeah, dude, hey, come on. I remember you. And it's just so cool. And that's the neatest thing about this event, is that everybody is kind of on that level of just being, really cool and laid back. As long as, let me put this out there to everybody that's listening. Don't be a douche. Okay. Be cool.
That's the best PSA.
Be cool, man. Be cool. They're people. They're people just like you and I. They're people. Just be cool. And if you're cool, they will be so cool. But if you're weird and you're like grabbing people and touching them and like just like
Yeah,
getting all up in
don't
people's,
touch people.
don't
That's like
touch
not a
people.
thing. Don't
No, it's
touch.
not. It's not. No touchy. No touchy.
Right.
Uh,
Act like in a museum. You look, but you don't touch.
yes. Yeah. If they look like they're busy, they probably are. And when you're busy, do you like to be interrupted? No, you don't.
Right. Because at the end of the day, like I feel like sometimes people forget this is the athlete's job.
Yes.
They have like sponsor obligations, they have obligations with their managers, and fitness is their main source, or like kind of would have gotten them into the source of their financial income. So just think about if you were at your desk working on a big like assignment that's due in 2 hours, and you had 10 people coming over to you asking for this, asking for that. Like,
can I get a
just
selfie?
kind of right, like kind of read the space. And so many athletes are so willing to like take selfies and do all of that, but just, you know, be respectful because it is their job.
Listen, if you go out to dinner in Miami and somebody's sitting there and they're eating, stop. Just be cool, look across, catch eyes, and do the nod.
Right. Little head nod.
Head nod, just to acknowledge that they're there and be like, hey, what's up? And have a moment. Have a moment that you can take home with you and that you remember, as opposed to them having a moment of going home and be like, oh, did you hear about that guy?
Because they are human too, and they will talk.
And that's the thing. Yes, it's their job, but they are also human. So treat them as such. You know, be cool. Be cool. That's the PSA.
Just be cool. I like
Just
it.
Be cool. Yeah. So you got into CrossFit. And I think this is again, I think we derailed off of that.
My dad had a six-pack and nice arms because he was doing CrossFit. Not just I didn't just look at my dad and think, wow, I need fitness. No, it was CrossFit specifically. He did CrossFit. I knew that he was going, and a couple of times I think he had asked me, and I was just like, no, Dad, I'm not going to go like work out with you. That's not cool. And I'm just like, dang it, I should have started this so much sooner.
Yes.
Yeah. But so then I was living in, where was I living at the time? Wisconsin. And they had like a 2-week on-ramp class to introduce you to CrossFit. And I mean, day one, I went home and I was like, wow, I love this. It was so much fun. And then maybe 2 months after I started, because I'm so competitive, I decided to sign up for the gym competition that involved movements that I could not do. And I will never forget asking one of the coaches, like, can I please get a band for these pull-ups? And they're like, no, it's a competition. You can't use the band. Like, you have to just keep trying. Yeah. And it was no rep after no rep. And I remember everybody coming over, doing what the CrossFit communities do and cheering me on. And I'm just like, I want to go in a hole all by myself right now. But after that, what did I do? I spent the next 4 to 6 months building pull-up strength. And now like pull-ups are one of my strongest movements in the gymnastics movement.
Yes. So I had a similar situation. But even more horrific. So I have since let my L1 expire, which is shame on me, but we had a lot going on. So I was an L1, I was the head coach of a gym for years. And you know, when I started in CrossFit, I was doing more running than anything else. I'm a bigger guy. I'm a little bit heavier. So the gymnastic movement's not my favorite. Give me heavy things. Let me throw them around. I'm good.
Yeah, that's way more fun.
It's way more fun. Like, oh, great. You can do a muscle up. Cool. I can, squat clean 250. That's like, I'm there for that, which I say that and CrossFitters are like 250. Wuss.
Right. I know. Like our numbers don't look good anymore compared to some of those high level athletes, but whatever. Yeah. Tell the average person and they'll think we're cool.
So I've been training and been working on things, but I became an L1 because I was passionate about coaching and teaching and doing those sorts of things. So became an L1. I was the head coach of the gym, and I didn't do a lot of competitions because like I do a competition here or there, but usually it would be a team competition, because I would team up with somebody. And I remember my very first competition, I was brand new to CrossFit, similar. And I remember we deadlifted, or I PR'd my deadlift at 335. And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah. Now, now years later, I'm like 435, just pulling
Yeah.
that. And I'm like, okay, yeah, 335 was not a lot. That's reps now
It's all
for people.
relative. It's
But
all
it's all
relative in
relative.
the
Yes.
moment. Yeah.
But, so I've been coaching and doing all this sort of stuff. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sign up for a competition. And I've in the past gone scaled, usually because of gymnastic movements, muscle ups and things like that. But I'm like, I'm going to sign up RX. I looked at this competition. It doesn't really have too much that's going to, give me a problem. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I get into this competition and I absolutely got my ass handed to me. Absolutely destroyed. I finished last in almost everything because it was the first time I went RX. Just there, and the difference. They're really, with every competition, local or not, there should be an RX division, there should be an intermediate division, and there should be a scale division.
100%.
And in some cases, even have an elite at the top, of those, fire breathers in your city or in your state that just go to competitions and just wreck shop. They shouldn't be an RX. They should be in a higher bracket, or you should have an intermediate for those people who are really good, but not proficient at everything.
Right.
So I jump into this RX competition. There's RX or there's scaled. Scaled is like way too easy. RX I can do. So I do RX and just got my ass handed to me, like bad. And my whole, all the people I coach are standing there just like cheering me on. And I'm like, I want you all to die.
Away.
Go away. They're like, pick it up. Pick it up. It's a 70. It was a 70-pound kettlebell and box step ups. And I'm like, no.
Oh, dang.
No, I don't want to. I just don't want to. And that workout started with a 200-meter run with a kettlebell. And
that's like my nightmare.
the first mistake that was made is that 3, 2, 1, go. I snatched my kettlebell up and just was running. And I'm like, why am I in the front? Why am I ahead of everybody? This is not going to go well. And I come around the corner for my first lap and there's nobody behind, like I can't hear people behind me. And I come around and I see the look on the people's faces from my gym, and they're like, you've come out way, way too hot. I finished the run. I get in
and died.
And just died.
Yep,
it was
there.
Bad. It was bad. And that was the first and only time I was in first place in the RX division. From then on, last place.
You were the winner of the first round.
Yes, the first
lap.
Yes. So it was.
You won something.
I won something. But yeah, so CrossFit, yeah. So similar competition. So you jumped into a competition. It was,
I came in second to last. It was terrible. I was humiliated.
You beat me.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I was like, okay, my one goal is you don't come in last. And then it was second to last. And I was like, this still feels like last.
And then you look and you realize that person didn't show up.
Right. There's a DNF, did not finish, or like DQ'd or something.
So,
but
okay.
Man, that got the juices going. I was like, man, I am a competitor. I will never let that happen again. And then the next year, so this first year I was in the scale division. Second year I did intermediate and I got second.
Nice. Yeah. So redemption. I love the redemption story because for me, the gym that I was at, I ended up leaving that gym and going to another gym, and relationship has since been great now, but at the time some bad things, some feelings got hurt and there was all that sort of thing. But the redemption was I went back to that same competition that I was programming, that I was running for the past like 3-4 years, and won the intermediate division with a teammate of mine. Like we went in and we just wrecked shop. It was awesome.
We both had our redemption.
We had our redemption. So I went back into the gym that I coached, that all my members were looking at me like, I can't believe you failed so miserably, and then, come back and win the intermediate division. So it was good. But they didn't let me live it down. That's for sure. When I'm coaching,
Oh yeah, no.
when I'm coaching the next week, and I'm like, I'll pick it up. Like, you didn't pick it up.
No, no.
I hate you all. I hate you all. So, but yeah.
Oh.
So okay. So you did your first competition. You got the competition bug, and then it kind of just evolved.
Yeah. And then what I loved about living in Wisconsin is they had local competitions all the time. Like you didn't need to travel more than 30, maybe an hour to
That's
get to a
Florida.
competition.
That's
But
basically
yeah, there
Florida
were
too.
like a
Yeah.
lot within 20 minutes. And it was like I probably competed in like at least 4 local comps a year. And now
Nice.
I look at the area that I live in and they just don't have local competitions besides like there's the Festivus. But
Mhm.
again, like I compete RX now,
Yeah.
like normal RX, not like Wodapalooza RX where you have to be like really, 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 really good.
Yeah.
That would be an intermediate division for me.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's like that's like
yeah,
my
it's
gym
just
my gym owner. I mean, he is like right at the elite level, but
mhm.
even when he goes and does like the Wadapalooza qualifiers, he ends up dropping into like RX, like low RX, high intermediate, kind of in that
Right.
range, as far as qualifying and things like that, and quarterfinals and all that. He's ridiculously stupid fit, but just the level of fitness that is being produced now.
It's so crazy. And especially like I feel like Wodapalooza is such a bucket list thing for so many people inside affiliates. Because
Yeah.
I mean you're literally working out with the ocean as like if you really start sucking wind, at least you have a beautiful view.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So speaking of Wodapalooza, and like, well, like again, we're jumping around everywhere. This People are gonna be listening,
I
like, oh
love
my
it.
gosh, would you just stay on one topic?
What's happening?
No, no, this is ADD at its finest. um, but there's going to be a lot of big things happening. So I'm not only just doing the podcast, but I'm also hosting the seminars.
Oh,
So
right. Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of things going on. I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't know exactly what I can talk about and
Oh,
what
I
I'm
was like,
allowed to
are
talk
you about
about.
to tease it on here?
I mean, there's going to be some, there's going to be a lot of people there. There's going
I
to be a lot
do.
of big name athletes. There's going to be some people who have won championships, and there may be a possibility that a lot of them are going to be talking and on a
Mm.
seminar. And if that happens, I'm the seminar host. So we're
Let's
working on it.
go.
Well, let's go. Yeah. Like I called Tommy and I was like, hey man, any advice for not looking like a complete idiot in front of people? Because you do a really good job. And I've never been in front of the camera, like doing that sort of thing. I just do this podcast stuff. And this is, people don't care. You're sitting in your office talking, like there's no expectations. But no, it's going to be in front of everybody, possibly on the main stage, doing a big thing with big people. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
You will be fine. You will be
It'll
fine.
be
But
good.
it is funny because even when I used to do local television and I would anchor the news, and people would always ask me, like, don't you get nervous before you do it? And I was like, no, I'm in a studio with me, the meteorologist, the sports guy, and that's it. And a
Yeah.
couple of cameras. There's no audience like
Yeah.
where I can see people. It's so different when there's like a live audience in front of you.
Yeah.
It is like the task at hand isn't different. And like you're confident, you know what you're doing. Wex, you're amazing. It shouldn't change anything. But like seeing a real person versus seeing your camera is such a different feeling.
Yeah. Well, and I tell people this all. So apart from DJing, I have many, many different talents and things that I do. So I
You
also
wear several
sing.
hats.
Yes, I sing. So like I've done stuff.
You sing?
I sing. Yeah. Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
on, hit a note.
No, 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 we're not doing that. It's not that kind of show. This
Okay,
isn't
okay.
this
And
isn't podcast
Wadapalooza,
karaoke. We're not doing
Miami.
podcast
Yeah.
karaoke. Um,
Ooh, that would be
ooh,
fun.
that would be a good one too. I mean, John Woolley was on his page last night playing guitar and singing.
Oh,
I was like, dude, you should do like a CrossFit karaoke. You and Dan Bailey get together with some guitars and just riff.
that would be awesome.
But so I sing, and one of the things, like, so we had the turkey trot this past Thanksgiving. So every Thanksgiving we have a 5K and a 10K. There's probably 12 to 1500 runners, and I'm the MC for that. So I get up, I've been doing it for the past like 10 years at the YMCA. So I get up on top of this truck and I'm, doing all my announcements, and I'm like, hey, if you've got a red bib on, this is gonna be the longest 5K of your life, because this is the 10K race. Get out. Just making like little quips and announcements and things like that. And every year we usually have the anthem, the national anthem. And I know the national anthem. I know all the words.
Sure.
I know it front to back. Great, fantastic. They're like, hey, do you have the national anthem? I'm like, no, but I hate to say this, I could sing it. And like, you can sing? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, okay, would you? I'm like, yes. Hold on, give me like 30 seconds to pull up the lyrics on my phone, because if there's anything you do not want to mess up, it's the national anthem.
Is the national anthem.
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you know it. It doesn't matter if you have it memorized. You're going to mess it up.
Out in the moment.
It's called the White Room. It's called the White Room. All the words go into the White Room.
There's a name for it?
There's a name for it. Yes.
Oh.
If you really want to learn about the White Room, go on Instagram and look up the hashtag Burr's Corner. So from Hamilton.
Burr's Corner?
Burr's Corner. So Aaron Burr, Burr.
Oh, yeah.
Burr's Corner. And the cast of Hamilton talk about when they mess up on stage. So it's amazing. It is amazing, that hashtag. And you got to like filter through some of the other ones, but the ones that are the actual Hamilton cast. And they talk about, I went, one of the guys I had on the podcast was James Monroe Iglehart, who is the original genie from Aladdin on Broadway. He won a Tony Award, like insane. And one of the ones he was talking about, he's like, yeah, there's this scene where Lafayette or Jefferson, I don't know which one he was playing at that point, where he jumps up on it was Lafayette, and he's like, where I jump up on the table, he's like, and I had a back injury, and I jumped on the table, and when I jumped on the table, white shooting pain went up through my back, and all the words went into the White Room.
Oh no.
he's like, so it's like, the lyrics are like, I'm taking this horse by the reins, making red coat red of the blood stains, like this whole thing. And he's like, dip, and then he's like, but the way he does it on the Burr's Corner thing, but look up Burr's Corner and it's hilarious. But that's the thing. Good. It's like, you get in front of people and you just, even though you memorize it, you know what you're supposed to say, you know what you want to say, you just panic. And it's like, 1,500 people in front of you, or in this case, however many thousands of people
Amazing.
are going to be at Wodapalooza. So yeah, but yeah, so that's the fun, the fun thing of the day. Go check out Burr's Corner. You'll laugh hysterically because they're Broadway they're athletes, they're Broadway stars,
right?
And they are just they're eccentric as it is, and then they're retelling their stories of how they've messed up on stage, and it's just hilarious. So it's good.
Even the pros do it.
Even the pros do it. Everybody does it. I mean, how many times have we seen athletes completely bust on a cargo net? Twice.
Maybe twice.
Twice. Just in the same, like at the same time.
Right.
So, but you see, some of the best mess up, so, but yeah, it's going to be an interesting time at Wodapalooza. There's going to be a lot of moving parts and a lot of things going on. And I'm like, there's so, and that's why I'm like, I'm hesitant to say anything, because part of it is the imposter complex that you have, where you're like, this can't actually be what I'm doing. Like nobody, like I'm going to wake up. Like nobody has really entrusted me to do all these things and be here and do this and talk to these people. And like, I'm, hit my mic. When I'm, when I'm opening up my laptop and there's Matt O'Keefe just, sitting there talking to me and like, going back and forth and stuff. And I'm like, how is this my life right now? I've got an interview that's coming up. So on Tuesday, I am interviewing Rich Froning.
Oh, that'll be fun.
So I'm like, how is this a thing? Like, how is this a thing? This is something that during COVID, I was like, I'm going to start a podcast and I'm going to talk about just random buffoonery. And now it's like all these people are coming on the show and I'm getting to talk to all these people, and I've talked to Broadway stars, I've talked to musicians, I've talked to actors, I've talked to chefs, like all these celebrities in their own right, just because I've asked, just because I've, and again, I feel like I'm gonna
Well,
wake up,
I think,
I'm gonna wake
yeah,
up one day and be like,
you're
it-
underselling it though. It's not just because you ask, like you're out here hustling, putting in the hard work, like putting out a product that people are entertained by, and you make the guests feel comfortable and want to come on the show.
but it's like complete strangers though. That's the thing. That's the thing that kills me. It's like some of these people are complete strangers. Like never like they don't have any connection with me. So like some of them, like with CrossFit, okay, there's connections and stuff like that. And like they know people that I
Sure.
know. But I'm like, how in the heck did I get two guys from the Hamilton Broadway on to come on the show? Like
How
how?
did you? Did you just like reach out to them on
I just
Instagram? You just DM
yeah,
them?
I just DM'd them on Instagram.
Oh, that's so cool.
Actually I hit one of them up on TikTok, making fun of the other making fun of the other one, because they have a rivalry. They go back and
Yeah.
forth. I mean, they're best friends, but they like best friends do. They just bug the shit out
Go
of each
off.
other. Yeah, they just
Yeah.
they just wreck each other. So part of it was that going back and forth. And I was like, hey, Nick said you should come on the show. And he's like, oh, well, if Nick said I should do it, I'll come on the show. And literally just a comment on TikTok, and it rolled into, since, I mean, it was like a 6-month process of getting him on the show just because of schedules and stuff. But I'm like, how is this a thing? This is the guy that I went to New York. Like I went to New York and went to Hamilton and saw him perform as Jefferson and Lafayette on stage. And then 2 years later, I'm talking to the guy. I'm like, this is insanity to me. Like you don't, a lot of people don't get to live that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, similar to what you said, I think it's a lot of just, it's a mindset of just, this is what I'm going to do. And now listen, I've sent out thousands of messages to people and got no response, no answer.
Oh yeah,
I
same.
mean,
They
Dwayne the
haven't
Rock
been
Johnson,
read.
man. Dwayne the Rock
Oh
Johnson,
yeah,
dude.
gotta
I
shoot
mean,
your shot.
come on, man. What are we doing? You leave me on red?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. He did put me on his page. Yeah.
What? Wait, we
I
need
am
the
I am
story.
on the Instagram page of Dwayne the Rock Johnson. So you're
I
writing
gotta
stuff
go
down.
look.
Gotta go look for this.
Yeah.
So now he has thousands of posts. So it's been like years. It's been like a year or so since this has happened. But so he was doing this thing called Terramana Tuesdays. When he first rolled out Terramana, people were doing toasts with Terramana and posting it on their page. So I did a, Wax Appeal podcast thing, and I was like, hey, got the new Terramana, we're gonna go ahead and try it. I took a taste of it, did like a whole thing, like a whole like 30-second video, and I posted it, tagged him in it. And he was taking posts, or his team, like, I don't know if he actually he reposted it himself, but they took a whole bunch of the videos that people had done and reposted it on the page with our stuff on it. So it's like the screen grab of Instagram. So you see, the page title and all that and who it is, and they showed the whole video. So my video's on there. So I posted the video, whatever, no big deal, kind of let it go. And then like a couple days later, I'm getting these messages popping up, like from
what's
random
happening?
people. And I'm like, what is going on? And people are like, yo, like people I have no idea who they are. They're like, yo, The Rock, put your video up. I'm like, what? So I went to the page, and sure enough, you scroll through a couple of the Terramana Tuesday videos, and like 3 in, I'm on there doing my tequila shot with The Rock. I was like, dude.
Oh, that's so cool. That's how you know you've made it.
I've made it. I made it onto The Rock's page. But but yeah, it's like little things like that. It's that mindset of just, what, I'm just going to put it out there. Whatever happens. If they say yes, great. If they don't say no, if they don't say yes, whatever, no big deal. I'm not offended by it. They don't know who I am.
Exactly.
And, just asking. And then there's like people that I really want to get that I can't find any way to get in contact with them. So like
who's like your top person? Do you have one?
Okay. I would love to interview David Tennant.
So, but there's no, like,
He's not
Nothing
on
on Google?
he's not on social media. Like there probably so there's like agent stuff, but you got to like pay to get the agent thing and
What?
like yeah, there's like a whole booking thing. So like David Tennant,
Oh,
and for people who are like, I do CrossFit. Who's David Tennant? He is
yeah.
Doctor Who from the Doctor Who show. He's been
Right.
on everything from Harry Potter to Broadchurch. He's done he's just a brilliant actor. I love him. So him, Lin-Manuel Miranda, I mean, that guy is a freaking genius. I would love to have Lin-Manuel Miranda on the show. Who else was like on that bucket list of people? And that's the thing. It's like 6 degrees of separation. Lin-Manuel Miranda is good friends with James Benoit Iglehart. Like,
Mm.
like dude's in his phone. Like they talk all the
Yeah.
time, and I'm like, I'm that close.
You're getting closer to the goal.
Yeah, and obviously there's the CrossFit people and things like that, but it's like when you start hitting those tiers of people that you want to talk to, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it's crazy that I'm I'm trying to reach those those people, and some of them are actually responding, which is super cool. Like as far as like CrossFit, I had messaged just shot in the dark, threw out an Instagram message to Don Fall.
Oh yeah, because I don't want to break your news.
Oh, break it. Let's go. I'm gonna put it on the page too. And he's gonna come on the show.
Yeah, you're having right. You're there.
CEO
You go.
of CrossFit. I'm like, what? Like, okay, cool. And I asked him, I didn't even know if he was gonna be there. I was like, hey, I don't know if you're gonna be in Wodapalooza or not. If you are, would you like to come on the show? He's like, yeah, I'd love to. Send an email to my email. I'll tag in the people that I need to tag in, and we'll get it done. I'm like, thank you.
Amazing.
Amazing. So just stuff like that. It's so cool to kind of really be kind of living this alternate reality, I'll call it, of hosting a podcast.
It is
because you get behind the screen, and it's like you get behind the screen, you talk, you do all these things, and you put it out into the universe, and you don't know what's going to come out of it, you don't know what's going to come back from it, but it's just something you're passionate about, something that you love to do. And in doing podcasts, that's the reason I did it, because I drive for a living. I sell eyeglasses at doctor's offices. That's my day job. And so I drive all over the state, and I listen to podcasts, and I'm like, this is cool. This is fun, and listening to people like Joe Rogan. I'm like, I just want to have a fun show where I just talk to cool people. And everybody I've talked to has been super cool. So it's like, it's just
keep doing
fun.
it then.
So I just kept doing it. But I also don't put so much pressure on myself to be like, I have to, and that's probably why, it's not as big as it should be. I have to post every Monday at 9 a.m. and do all this sort of stuff. I'm like, it's a passion project. So when I get good guests, I'm going to do it. I'm going to promote it. I'm going to push it, but I'm not going to I'm not going to let it ruin the rest of my life and the things that I have going on, wife, 4 kids, dog, rabbit.
You busy.
Like, I'm busy.
Dog, rabbit.
Dog, rabbit, career, CrossFit, trying to get my training in and doing all the stuff. Like, I'm still going to live my life, but this is a really cool experience and a really cool story to be able to tell to people that, hey, if you're passionate about something, just do it. And I really do this for the love of what I'm doing. I do it for the love of being able to talk to people and just having a good time. And I think that's what shows through. I think that's what people are seeing and relating to with the shows. And it's just been a fun ride. And listen, we're talking 1 week before Wodapalooza, in one of the absolute biggest moments of my podcast career, is like on the eve of it. And I don't know what's going to happen. I absolutely don't know what's going to happen, but I'm really open and super excited about what could possibly happen from this opportunity. And it's kind of one of those things.
Well, even look from last year to this year, the opportunity that like has shifted because of the hard work and like people recognizing that from the first year. And you're like, hey, I want to change X, Y, and Z. And they're like, hey, I think you're the guy to do it and make that happen. Let's make this bigger and better. Let's get all of these guests and all of these podcasts together. And it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited about doing the podcast stage, especially because it's so different from what all of us normally do. We're all
Yeah.
at home virtually, like having our guests enter the Zoom video. And now it's like, you got a live audience. Like we're
But
over here, we're over there. You're in Miami. It's so awesome.
but then everything ties around because like, although I'm nervous about getting in front of people, I thrive on it because I'm a
Right.
wedding DJ. Taking crazy situations and turning them into a great moment. I mean, I can't exactly say that I've saved marriages on the actual wedding day, but I've been pretty close to just
Yeah.
like some horrible situations happening at a wedding that I'm like, we got to fix this. And I'm the guy with the microphone. So it's literally like the wedding singer where he's like, oh,
Mhm.
I have a microphone and you don't. So you'll listen to every damn word I have to say. It's that whole thing where, hey, I've got to take control of the situation because things are spiraling
Yeah.
bad. The groom is trashed and swearing out the bartender. Let's do some sort of dance. Okay, let's have some fun. I had one bride that smashed cake in the groom's face, and she hit him so hard she made his nose bleed. And yeah.
I'm so
So
happy I'm not a wedding planner.
she smashed his face with cake. His nose started gushing blood, and he was so mad. He was in the bathroom like punching walls. He was so mad. And I had to, so everybody's just kind of looking at me, and I'm like,
Tough day at work.
okay. So I find the longest song I can find, throw it on. I tell the photographer, who's a buddy of mine, we're like, hey, if this track ends, just push this button, to move to the next one.
Yeah.
And I go into the bathroom and I'm like, hey, dude, we're here because it's a wedding and you love her. It wasn't on purpose. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to clean yourself up, take a deep breath, remember she didn't mean it, walk out there, tell her I love you, take her onto the dance floor and have a dance. And it took a little bit.
Wow.
Took a little bit of
Yeah.
finesse.
Yeah.
Took a little bit of finesse, but he like took a deep breath, calmed down, walked back out there. And I'm like, don't say anything. Just walk up, tell her you love her, grab her by the hand, walk out to the dance floor, and I will play a song and it's good. And it did. I don't know if they're still married. I haven't
Thank
followed up.
God.
I haven't followed up with them, but
No.
hey, when it starts to domestic violence, just but there was cake. So, I mean, it could be all bad. Yeah. And like the wedding stories that I have are just, some of them are just ridiculous. Drunk
You should
uncle.
write a book.
Yeah, right. Drunk uncles at weddings are just the best. I had one that I'll tell this quick one. I had one, the movies where music's playing and then something happens and like the record scratches, like everything goes
Yes.
silent.
Yep.
I had one of those moments where I'm sitting there playing music. It's during dinner. Like it's just kind of, everybody's just kind of whatever.
Chill.
It's an outdoor wedding.
Should be chill.
Should be chill. Outdoor wedding. And I'm set up on a deck in front of like a little pool house on a lake. So this little pool house plugged in. I'm, just kind of playing music, not really paying attention. And I hear the groom start cussing and like swearing out somebody. And I look around the corner of this pool house and it's him and his uncle. His uncle, I guess, is drunk. And he's like, get the fuck out of here. And da, 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 da. And then that happens. And again, that's that record moment where everybody just kind of looks and like everything goes silent, even though music's playing and all that. He comes back, sits down at the table, super, super pissed. And I'm like, all right. What do I do? This is super awkward right now. How do I fix this? Okay, got it. So I walk over to him and I'm like, I won't name his name, but I'm like, dude, do you trust me? He's like, what? And I'm like, do you trust me? And I was actually friends with him. So,
Okay.
I kind of had a little bit of rapport. I'm like, do you trust me? He's like, whatever, what? And I'm like, I'm going to do something and I just need you to follow along. We need to do something. Okay. And so I get back up there, I get on the microphone, I load the song I'm going to play, and I go, when they talk to me about music and everything for the, for this wedding. We had talked about the song, and we didn't really know where it was going to fit. I think this would be a perfect opportunity. So, I'm gonna call him John for
Yeah.
privacy purposes. I'm like, so John, go and grab your wife's hand and take her onto the dance floor, please, for this dance. And he's like, not into it at all. And he just kind of looks at me, and I'm like, it's cool. Just take your wife onto the dance floor. He grabs her hand, takes her onto the dance floor, and I play Adam Sandler's "Grow Old with You" from The Wedding Singer. And you see this, like, he's got this like look on his face of anger, and you just see it just crack and just kind of
he
break.
wants to be mad, but now he's not.
He wants to be mad, and he's like, oh, that's good. And they danced to the song. Everybody laughed. Everybody was like, and it broke the ice of the whole thing, and everything was good from then on out. Like,
it's amazing.
oh,
You're like,
man, it was nuts. So, but yeah, so that's the
one of many stories.
One of many stories of weddings that went off the rails. Where the limo turns into a cop car. That's a fun one too. that was the drunk groom talking to the bartender. They called the cops. Yeah, he almost got arrested. So it was fun. It was
memories.
Good. But yeah, weddings are fantastic. They're great.
They're so fun.
So fun. So fun. But yeah, so where you're going to be set up at Wodapalooza, we're running on time. We got to like wrap up. People like, man, they're just talking forever, but it's just fun. It's just good. It's
we have so many things to talk about.
So what all are you going to be doing at Wodapalooza? What do you got going on? When are you getting there? Are you getting there on Wednesday? Like,
I get there Tuesday, a little bit early. Yes.
Head start, because on Wednesday,
Sara Sigmundsdottir, probably not her, but her people, her sponsors. I know that she's working with Toe Spacer.
Yes.
They are having this yacht excursion, and I'm going to be on the yacht interviewing her during this little.
You broke up. You're interviewing her.
Oh, am I back?
You're back. So you're going to be on the boat.
Yes. So I'm going to be on the boat. I've never done a boat interview before. Are you going to be on the boat too?
I got an email yesterday.
Let's go.
I don't know if I can make it though. I don't know.
If I can change your flight right now.
I live here.
Oh,
I live in Florida. I'm going to drive down. No,
quick drive.
So I haven't talked to my wife yet, because I literally just got the email yesterday and didn't get a chance to talk to her because I got it like at midnight because I was working on crazy stuff. But yeah, I got it last night, and then we just had to get up, and I had to take her to work and everything. I don't know if we can make it. And I'm like, no.
You must make it.
I know. And I'm like, so she's also one of the ones that I want on the show. And we've been working on that. Me and Snorri have been working on that. So
oh yeah, Snorri's great.
But Snorri's awesome. He's been on the show too. He's fantastic. But yeah, I'm hoping to go down. So you're going down on Tuesday so that you can go on a boat.
On a boat. I'm gonna be on a boat with a microphone.
It's not how the song goes, but okay.
No.
I'm riding down a dolphin.
Yeah. So we're on the boat on Wednesday, and then it gets back in, I think, around 4, and athlete check-in is until 6. So once we get back, I'll probably try to meet up with some athletes, grab a couple of interviews that we can post to, preview before we start on YouTube. And then I'll just be doing our daily recap shows. So shooting video of the athletes, getting athlete interviews when they're done, putting everything together, tie it up with a nice little bow.
Yeah.
Throw that on YouTube and hopefully get a little bit of sleep before the next day.
Nice. So here's the kicker for that boat excursion. They said you must be 21 or up to go, and I'm going to have my daughter with me.
Oh,
so
okay.
I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm trying to make it work. And I'm like, how
getting
is
a
this
fake ID?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
No, she wouldn't pass. She's 9. She's very small. Very, very small. But she's coming to Wodapalooza, so you'll get to meet her too. She's
awesome.
She's CrossFit junkie. And she's so excited about coming to Wodapalooza, and I haven't confirmed
Yay.
to her that she's coming. She keeps hinting at it. She keeps asking at it, and I keep hinting at it, but I'm not going to tell her yes until we're like, all right, let's go.
Right.
But yeah, it's man, it's going to be an interesting time. So are you on the boat you're on there just to interview her? So you're doing the
Yeah. So there'll be like a 20-minute interview. But then other than that, I'm just hanging out on a boat.
just hanging out on a boat, riding on a dolphin.
Who knows? Maybe I'll cannonball into the water.
Who
Things
knows?
could happen. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there is going to be alcohol. So
Yeah.
I mean, and it's funny. Are you going to the kettlebells and cocktails party?
I hope so. I was talking to John and Nikki the other day, and my plan is to go. It just kind of comes down to how quickly can I edit the recap show.
Okay.
So
are you crashing, or did you get a ticket?
Oh, no, I got a ticket.
Okay. I was like, you
Yeah.
gotta get on, because they're sold out.
Oh yeah, no, I got a
Yeah.
ticket. We're good to go. It's just a matter of, can I use this ticket?
Yes. So, and that's basically how I feel about the Toastmaster boat trip. I'm like, can I use this
Yep.
ticket? I have it.
Right.
I just need to get there. I need to get to Miami.
Yeah.
I mean, I could definitely do, like work stuff that morning. My whole territory is the entire state of Florida. So we'll see. Should be. Oh man. Now I really
I'll
want to
see
go.
you on the boat. I'll see you on the boat.
Yeah, we'll
I'm putting it out into the air.
put it into the universe. Put it in the universe. Be on the boat. So cool. So you get there on Tuesday. You're going on the boat with Sarah on Wednesday. You're hitting the podcast stage on Thursday, and then you're going to be everywhere. You're going to be all around,
everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
Everywhere with a camera in hand and people's faces, just like,
yes,
let's go,
running around. It's gonna be
That's
good.
Awesome. And there's gonna be so many people doing that, so it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Like I know, like of media, like not media people, but like people who do YouTube and blogs and things like that. I know Hiller's gonna be there. He's competing. He's doing the gauntlet. So that'll be interesting.
Fun to watch.
That should be fun. And he's actually gonna be on the podcast stage, I think, on Thursday.
Yeah, I think he's with Peter from
Yes.
Coffee Pods and Wads. I think I saw. Yep,
he's gonna be on there, and so he'll be running around, and I'm sure he'll have a camera, and be,
of course,
and be doing all sorts of stuff. And then, obviously, John and Nikki are going to be there with kettlebells and cocktails. Nikki's working on the broadcast. You've got Tommy and Sean, Chase and Bill. They're going to be doing their shows. Everybody's being hush hush on the guest list, which is funny. But I'm like, I'm the coordinator. I need to know so that I can put these people out here.
Tell me.
But you got Coffee Pods and Wads are going to be there. Don't Tone Alone. Two Tone Fitness is going to be there. Conversations with Claire, she's going to be there. Clydesdale Media is going to be there. They're people. Jedberg Podcast. That I'm really excited to meet them. They have a special guest host, co-host.
Oh,
it's Jesse Graff, the American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's another one. That's another one that's coming on the
Yeah.
podcast at some point. So we're gonna meet and greet and talk and do all those things. So, so any you're gonna try and hit the after parties. So you're gonna try and hit kettlebells and cocktails on Saturday, and I think there's probably one on Sunday.
Yes. Normally I only make it to the Sunday one.
Gotcha.
When everything is said and done. But but I don't know. I think we found maybe a better workflow for this competition where we should get a little bit of sleep. So I'm hopeful.
Sleep. What is
What
sleep?
is sleep? It's
Sponsored-
not existing out these comps.
It's sponsored by Rain.
Yeah.
This weekend is brought to you by Rain.
Exactly.
All the energy drinks. So, well, Lauren, thank you for coming on the show and doing this. This has been a lot of fun.
So fun.
It's complete buffoonery. This is I'm definitely going to title this like the squirrel episode. It's like if you have a hard time paying attention to things, maybe this isn't the one for you.
A treat. Turn away now.
Yes. No, it's just a show full of cliffhangers. We're gonna start a story and then we're gonna finish it way later in the show. We're gonna wrap it around to a wedding. It's gonna relate to a wedding story at some point.
Right. It all ties into that.
Absolutely. Well, awesome. Well, we'll go ahead and end the show. And thank you again so much. And I will see you in a few days. Like we
Yeah.
are less than a week away. Cannot wait. So
I'll
it's gonna be
see you
awesome.
in Miami.
Yeah, let's go.